So now that the Worldwide Developers Conference for this year through Apple has wrapped up and certain announcements have come up, primarily relating to artificial intelligence and the partnership between Apple and OpenAI, Elon Musk might have just caused Apple's stock price to drop just a bit. Let's take a look at why. So for those who don't know, artificial intelligence is the name of just the game of the world right now, obviously in tech. And a whole lot of artificial intelligence based products are flooding the market left and right. I'm still finding out about different apps and websites that are AI based that we can use, whether they're for free or that we can pay for, in addition to the products and services and different features that Apple and the different Android brands are integrating into their technologies so that it makes our life a little bit easier. The problem is that Apple has been behind in the artificial intelligence game pretty much ever since it really started picking up over the last, I would say, 4 to 5 years, give or take. And so they're finally trying to close that gap, hence the partnership that they inked with them and OpenAI. In response or reaction to this, Elon Musk has threatened Apple that, and maybe not necessarily Apple, but more so his own employees, that if this deal with OpenAI, between OpenAI and Apple, is true and is already in full effect or will eventually, escalate to full effect, that he will make it so that all of his employees throughout all of his companies, the 100,000 or so employees that he has internationally speaking, will never be able to use Apple products in relation to their work, and you bring Apple products into the physical premises, of his companies, like whatever towers, skyscrapers, office spaces, they won't be able to have Apple products in there. And he claims it's due to a security reason, and that the deal between Apple and OpenAI would lead to a very irresponsible and serious security violation. So pretty much a day or two after the WWDC with Apple, and Elon made his comment, Apple stock price this past Monday, it's Friday the 14th, June 14th. This past Friday, the news broke that Apple stock price had decreased by 2%. But once they had adjusted the news, or the information in relation to the deal, Apple stock price had bounced back literally the next day and increased by 6%. So they actually ended up doing better than where they started, at least earlier this week. And now, after the stock prices have bounced back, every share, or at least as of the time of researching and reporting this, Apple stock prices have returned and bounced back higher to $205 per share. So why did Elon Musk feel the need to, in a way, directly, I say indirectly, but directly or indirectly threaten Apple, but more so directly threaten or drop a gauntlet when it comes to his own employees, in terms of Apple products are now banned or will be banned from any of his companies that he's in charge of, owns, and operates? So I want to throw this detail in here that not only is Elon, worried that that deal and using Apple products with OpenAI's system integrated into them being a security risk for him and his companies and his employees, he does believe and has announced he thinks that like integration would be a security issue for general users of Apple products all across the board. If you look on social media and maybe a few news articles, Elon has alluded to potential data leaks that could happen, because if Apple integrates OpenAI into their systems, then it could create or invite vulnerabilities in Apple's systems, which hackers and other people can exploit and steal customer information, steal proprietary information from Apple, and maybe even do some damage in relation to Apple's technologies, which, if that affects all Apple products, then it could be a much bigger problem than you think. Because if we bring Elon back into this, what he's probably worried about is someone bringing their Apple iPhone, iPad, whatever the case may be, into the workplace to do work or just for their personal use for stuff. And if the integration does cause a security issue with Apple products in general, a hacker that's good enough might be able to hack their way into an Apple product that someone's using, and then can hopscotch from that iPad or that iPhone into Tesla's systems, into X's, Twitter's systems, into SpaceX systems, right? And now they can steal Elon's data. They can steal his client's information, his proprietary information, his personal information, the personal information of everyone that works for him, right? So it seems random, but if that's truly where he's coming from, he's not necessarily completely off the mark. If anything, that is a fair concern. I do think him blowing the horn on this, especially right after the deal was announced, was a little premature and maybe even presumptuous to assume that Apple's going to have such a big security issue, and they may have problematic, like very big security breaches at some point in the future, that he will not allow any of his employees to interact with Apple products, at least while they're on the clock and in corporate workspaces. But that's arguably just a surface level reason. More likely than not, the actual reason, or at least a bigger reason, is Elon naturally is trying to develop and deploy and put out his own artificial intelligence product as well, so that he can be part of that market, because it's blowing up right now. Everybody's doing it. Artificial intelligence products might be the quickest way to get into the market, but that is a topic for a different video. If you guys want me to talk about that, let me know in the comment section below. But like I said earlier, I think if he has a genuine concern about this, I don't think it's completely unfounded. I think Elon does believe, to a degree, there is a potential issue of corporate espionage that could happen, where he would be affected, his workers would be affected, and Apple product users in general would be affected. And that could lead to a lot of data being stolen, a lot of corporate secrets being put out, a lot of trade secrets being put out, whether it's his or other people's, and it just wouldn't be good all around. So I think corporate espionage is something he's genuinely worried about. And I know the example I gave earlier sounds real kind of like action or heist movie like, but that happens. That's why we have people primarily in cybersecurity and even some of its own subspecialties, because it is possible for someone to hack your phone, and then they can hopscotch from hacking your phone to hacking your personal laptop or your iPad. And then if you're in a corporate environment, they may be able to hack your phone. Then they can hop over to hacking your personal workstation at work. Then they can hop over to hacking somebody else's workstation at work, rinse and repeat. They may eventually hack their way into a corporate server that is either at that location or somewhere else. You just don't know, right? So this stuff actually happens. So I think bottom line, even if he's not being completely honest with us, and there is somewhat of a bait and switch or an ulterior motive in that he's just trying to make money off of AI as well, I do think he's at least leading with a realistic reason. Corporate espionage is no joke, especially when it's tech related, and a whole lot of data can be moved quickly under a lot of people's noses when they know what they're doing behind the keyboard and looking at a command line interface or using whatever tech tool, right? So I'm going to leave this video here, guys. I think this is a pretty interesting topic. We'll see where it goes from here. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, feedback, share that with me in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.